Welcome to Off the Stage Podcast.
And welcome to Off the Stage Podcast, the show where we take musicians off the stage and into the pub.
So glad you've seen the podcast, so you know what's going on there.
I know.
Another drum fill. Another sound loops.
Here's the thing, right? We record this on a Monday, and it's that work. What I do is I pack eBay, and I've been it's been stupidly busy. So I've packed about 220 things today. So I come here and I'm absolutely knackered. So I'm just my brain's still kind of fried from just thinking about that.
Welcome to the Off the Stage Podcast. My name's Conor Michael, this is James Berry, and on my left is George Jones. How you doing, George?
Not too bad, been alright now. It was less than £6 a Guinness.
$5.50.
That's $5.50.
That's that's about standard now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we usually get the mystery pints, but then you had the Guinness, and I was like, what, I'm gonna get beer envy if I get anything else. So yeah. Hence why we're all on the Guinness.
Everywhere I've been in Newcastle for the last 2-3 weeks, it's been about £6.40 for a Guinness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there was a bar near the quayside. I can't remember the name. Tiger Ormsby. Tiger Ormsby. I think that was about £6.40 a Guinness.
It's cheap for that.
Yeah, I was I can't remember how much it was. I think it was £6 so much. The Globe, Newcastle, it's a lovely place, but it was £6 so much for a Guinness.
I'm surprised at that. I thought that was a community hub where they'd be okay, let's be fair with the prices and stuff.
Guinness is a bit of a dear pint, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's.
But I like when they do Guinness Zeros though.
I like
when I came to your gig at Little Buildings, you were supporting that Celtic Irish band.
Oh yeah.
At Guinness Zero, and it was it's good to see it in small places and stuff. But do you know what they do now with the Guinness Zero? Is they'll fill it to that much of it with the draft, and then they'll ask if you want to fill the rest in with the actual Guinness
foam.
tap.
So you get the foam.
And you get the full thing of it.
Ah, that's clever.
And it's cool.
It's a good idea because I must add a 0.5%. So it's a 1% beer in it. So it's
not too bad.
It's all right.
I'd love that with do you know, if you were vegan or vegetarian, you're going to get a margherita pizza. You'd still want you've had a pepperoni on and the crust gone sort of orange.
Yeah.
And the juice not come.
Yeah.
They've done that in restaurants and that. If you're just going to get a vegan vegetarian thing, but just went, we'll just dip it.
We'll have a little bit of meat sauce.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be vegan anymore, but there's only so much you can do. It's I always say that. It's with a lot of because I know I've got a mate who's vegan, but he has beer that isn't vegan. And he's like, I can only do so much. You're it's how it.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think I could go a lifetime of veganism.
No, I tried it for a month.
I think what would be annoying is that they don't have their own foods excluding vegetables and fruits, and they try to recreate other foods. So you got bacon instead of bacon. Just don't make it bacon. Make your own thing.
Yeah, it's not.
Not that I'm trying to hate on vegans, but it's not a lifestyle I choose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would drive you around the bend just being do you know if you're gone for the vegan diet, but you weren't gone for what's the word? Processed. If you were doing all natural vegan, it would just be kind of just rough.
Just little vegetables and
carrots and
beans
berries.
In it,
yeah.
I'd have to live on beans on toast. That's all I can think of what I'd like.
You couldn't have butter, could you?
Yeah, exactly. You could have fake butter. But yeah, I know exactly.
I love all music podcasts.
Yeah, have they made a fake egg, a vegan egg? They must have made a vegan egg.
I think there is. You can get vegan eggs.
Or it's scrambled tofu, which is I'll tell you what, this is the worst, because I play a few weddings every now and then from a wedding band. The worst meal I've ever had. Worst wedding meal. Just worst meal, actually. Okay. It was at this wedding venue, and it was a lovely. I liked the couple, and they had loads of dogs with them as well. They were the animal rescue people, but they were also vegans. So fair enough, But their choice of food for the night was vegan fish and chips. Now it wasn't.
And that chips.
It was chips, but it was basically deep fried tofu. But have you ever had unseasoned tofu before?
I've never had tofu.
Once.
I've just never had a good review on it.
So it was tasteless batter with unseasoned tofu, and it was the worst. I was like, I can't even eat that. Usually I can eat anything except parsnips, but that's another
Parsnips
matter.
are great.
Yeah, that's another.
It's the season again.
That's another argument.
I had gravy on my dinner today without parsnips.
Oh yes.
Oh, I missed that. Well, it was bangers and mash. You can't have parsnips with bangers and mash.
No, you can't. I had chips and gravy.
About a
the
year
last
ago,
one,
I had a
but-
controversial opinion where I'd rather have parsnips on a roast dinner than gravy.
I think I'd rather that. I think personally.
I feel like here. God.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't often have a Sunday dinner. Like, if it gets to Christmas, I'll have a dinner, and I think I'd want all the trimmings as opposed to the gravy. Do you know what I mean? I sort of.
I've got to have the gravy. Like
Gravy's good. It's something I put on. It's not. I don't want people to think, oh, I'll go around without gravy. I don't have gravyless dinners. But if I had to choose, parsnips are higher up on my priority list. But honey roast parsnip is
honestly, I'd put gravy in a cup and I'd just drink it. That would be my sustenance.
making the tea wrong. Couple of sugars in. Aye. Yeah. That was a great 5 minutes 40 seconds of veganism.
Yeah, and it's not great.
We've got non-vegan at our wedding. I mean, there was vegan options for the 3 people that'll go in, but other than
They
that,
can bring a packed lunch, can't they?
exactly right. Got mac and cheese for the finale. So excited. Anyway, we'll get into music.
Yeah.
I met you at Priory Buskers, wasn't it? That's when I met you the first time.
Did I? Do you know what? That was probably the weirdest open mic I've ever been in.
Because nobody was ever there, and it was me for 3 hours.
Exactly, but it
Every
wasn't. It wasn't even like it was because he said that when I walked in. I sort of like I went, do you know what? There's an open mic all the way over here, and I didn't drive, so I have to get public transport. So I got a train to Newcastle, and it was dark. It was like January, February, something like that. So it was dark and it was cold. I don't know if it was raining. And I get on the train to Newcastle, and then went right after switch to the yellow line, got a second train, travelled all the way there, and I walked in. It was an open mic going on, but you were sort of like, well, what you doing here? Like no one ever comes out. Like you were really hospitable and that, but all the people were just like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'd had that one for about a year or so, and it was I think I did the first Sunday of every month, and it was just never buskers. It was basically me gig for 2 hours.
It's such a tough thing. I mean, like buskers nights, like hosting a buskers night.
Yeah.
It's such a hard thing. I give credit to anyone who does it, because you constantly every week you've got to try and bring people there, and it's just like I
used to love when I did it at Ship and Royal in South Shields.
Yeah.
It was never a lot of buskers, but it was always good crack. Like
it was
regulars would fucking love to turn up.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a scene there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like it was alright.
I think you might have covered one of them.
I covered a few of them, but it wasn't a buskers night. It was just basically I turned
Little
up,
gig that
and
everybody was like,
nobody turned up.
Yeah.
You know.
It's great fun busker nights, isn't it?
Sometimes you get to a really good one and it's packed and everyone's enjoying it and you're talking to people and that and it's mint. Other times it's like you turn up and it's a buskers night, or cause I mean a lot of the time I didn't really do like covers on out, or if I do covers I'll do ones that I like or feel like I can sing.
Yeah,
Because I kind of do my accent, so I'm not going to be doing like Total Eclipse of the Heart and that. It's just not going to come out.
Well, yeah, make your own version.
Total eclipse.
Turn around, like
Turn around.
every now and then.
Get a little bit closer.
Oh, never coming round, like.
You could do it would be like the Geordie version of William Shatner, you know. Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Second variant of it appears to the side. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the best buskers night that I've seen is it's the first one I ever went to, and it's in Cramlington. Don't know if you've ever been to the Clayton Arms.
Never.
It's fantastic. It's every Wednesday, and it's the first. Like I remember when I first taught myself guitar, I had 6 months of teaching myself on YouTube, and then I went to a buskers night, and I sounded dreadful because it'd been 6 months. But the fella Paul that ran it, I choked because I decided to go for a high bit, and then I went no, I don't know what to do. Lost all lyrics, and then he sang along with us to keep it going, and it's one of them like everyone around so supportive, and like people are actually there to watch the buskers, and it's not just you're in the corner. Everyone's there. There's people at the bar. People have got the regular seats. Oh, are you doing that song again this week? And I went there every week, and it's a fantastic place. And then we went to started doing the Flying Scotsman on a Thursday, and that's where I met Scott and James. But busker nights, they're tough to run, but if you get the right one, I think they're fantastic.
If you can hit one off, and you've got like sounds rude, that doesn't it? If you can get like a constant flow of like regulars to come down, and you can really build something, and you can help musicians who aren't quite at the stage of doing their own gigs,
Yeah.
and only know like a few songs and want to build up the confidence and build up the set and stuff.
Perfect thing for it.
Yeah,
I've always said that if you're ever gonna start out as a musician, just hit your local mics.
Yeah,
And then when people are like, oh, well, I don't know, it's not like amateur hour, but that's where you can start as a beginner.
that's it.
It's where like I like to go. I haven't done it in ages, but when I have my album out next year, I want to start going back to open mic nights and just rolling out new songs. And
Yeah, I kind of miss it, to be honest, but
we do a lot of like cover scene.
yeah, that's it.
But my rule with busker nights now is if I'm gonna go to one, I'm just doing originals. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play you Oasis. Here's
Yeah,
one of my
that's-
songs.
We were talking about that at yours as well.
Yeah.
So I remember turning up and saying that, and you were saying, "Aye, exactly." It's just, yeah. Have you been to the Duncow in Sunderland when you're doing the buskers?
I haven't.
Years ago.
Yeah.
It's
so-
every other Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, it's like Becky, this little bird that
Yeah.
does that, and then I know that Chris Brass Monkey.
Yeah.
Used to do a lot of open mics and
He's-
stuff.
That might be the last open mic night I did when we went.
Yeah,
last year.
where the stumble in.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're two sort of artists in the local area where I've heard the originals and they're really good, but it's sort of they do a lot for the area. Really, do you know, like
Yeah.
under the scenes, like it's really like I don't know, like I hear them play the songs every now and then at the open mics and the class, but I don't know how often they do originals gigs, but they do so much outside of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's-
sort of like they maybe drop the marketing to do that. It's really it's really nice.
It's a thankless
Lovely.
task, isn't it, really? It's like,
Yeah. It's like podcasting.
I don't mind, this is a bit easy, to be fair. We'll just go down with a few beers and talk to like-minded
This has been one of the
musicians.
most chilled build-ups to a podcast I've had in months. Where it's just like, no, I don't mind going out for this one. And I don't know if it's because we started a bit earlier than normal,
Yeah, maybe.
but it's like at the last few, it's like, all right, we'll do the podcast, and it feels like a chore at times. And it's not, because you sit down, you chat with people, and it's fine. But it's
Yeah,
the build-up to it. And I don't know if it's like the amount of work that we do behind the scenes, and like. But sometimes it's nice when it's like, oh, we'll just go for a pint and we'll do this.
Yeah, that's it. It's
But
nice.
buskers nights, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, that's exactly
go
it.
down for a
It's-
pint, but people
yeah.
don't. They go, I'll go for my free pint, and I'll go to the next one. It's like, just make a community.
That was the scene back in the day when I first started. There was like it's how I met Scott. Actually, there was three
Oh, buy a pint.
yeah, 3 different buskers nights on in one night. So you started off in the Boer upstairs with Andy. You got your Boer bombs, which is fucking lethal. Then you got your free pint, obviously. Then you went down to, where was it? I think it was called, I'd like to say it was called Pure, probably. And then you did a buskers night there, and then you finished off at the later one. They all like worked together. Scott's one at Boab.
Yeah.
And there was like £1 bottles. That's how long ago it was. £1 bottles, then you get a free pint as well. You get pissed off a £5. It was like flipping mint. And then you had like, obviously you played like the full set and all. But by the time I got the Scots buskers, like we were so drunk, we were like, it was like really awful, you know. That was good. That was good times.
So it
I
doesn't
wonder if
really
we
feel
start
like
a busker
you can't really
scene up again.
Yeah.
you can't really like do that a whole lot anymore. It feels like whenever I do buskers or anything like that, especially around here, they're sort of like the far away from each other. You've
Yeah.
got the green belt in between and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, like
Yeah,
anyone that
it's-
does public transport, you pick one night for one day, and then go, that's all I'm going to do that night.
Yeah.
Which is okay. You make like a memorable night out of it, but it's not really a way to get yourself out there anymore a whole lot.
No, it's a tough one. Unless say you need if you're gonna do that, you need multiple, because they're literally just these ones were literally around the corner to each other.
Yeah.
It's like it was ideal, and because it was that, everybody, like there was loads of people, and they used to just leave one place, go to another, and it was beneficial for everyone.
That's good. It's good to reminisce on buskers.
Definitely.
Have you been down like Blues and Bourbon Songwriters Night? It's like Blues
I've
Underground
done it
now.
a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite decent as well. When you go on there and you do like a handful of songs, and that's one of the places where it's like they have the night dedicated to original music
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So that's really good for when you're starting off as well.
I like it in there. We obviously we do the podcast on a Monday.
That's our
which is
issue.
why we can't usually do it.
So I get a message off
yeah.
Tony all the time. Do you want to do a slot? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm recording the podcast. Sorry, mate.
I keep getting like those ones as well where it's just like, do you fancy doing tonight? And it's either work or something like that.
Yeah.
And with being a Monday, it's just like, I can't, I'm too far away.
It's a tough day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's a Wednesday. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by like it's such a tough thing to do, where you're constantly having to ask people. You don't just expect them to turn up, which is why he's successful, because he literally
Asks.
he's physically asks people to come down. But if you get like the last slot, it's like you like start at like 11:30. Just like
yeah.
well, Monday is like super late and all. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, my gig for tonight finished at 11:30, so it's not too bad.
You could nip in there.
Anyway, we'll take a short break. We'll come back and chat about the song that we've recorded.
Yeah, of course.
And upcoming projects.
Yeah, awesome.
Rock and roll.
Oh man.
Oh, get rid of them ads, James.
Okay. See you later. I think that worked. And welcome back to side 2. I just about heard that there. Yes, I did. We've got some. Is it Instagram questions?
We've got a Instagram question.
An Instagram question. Excellent.
Instagram question. At Mrs. Berry Insta said, "What's your least favourite part of doing a gig?"
Do you know, it has to be, me personally, it's lovely, but do you know, for the first 5 minutes after you finish playing, maybe like 5-10 minutes, do you know when the adrenaline's still flowing through you, and you get loads of people coming towards you and saying maybe how well you've done and how much you love this bit and stuff, and you cannot reply yet, because you're sort of like,
everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm still calming down.
Yeah.
And you sort of like, you're still grateful, and it's honestly, it's lovely, but do you know, you're not at your best.
Yeah.
You sort of like, you almost want to get past them and sit down for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
get on.
You've got your stock answer, haven't you? Oh, thank you very much.
Aye.
Cheers.
I did
Doesn't feel like it's enough.
I did the Clooney 2 in June. And it was one of them. I did the gig, and then everybody rushed, kind of thing. Oh, that was really good. Everyone tried to talk to us. Boom, whirlwind. And my missus was upset. She's like, "Oh, I wanted to get like a photo on stage with you because you got a photo with everyone else, and like you didn't consider obviously like me." And I was like, honestly, you don't understand at this point. I don't know what's going on. It's like you're mortal drunk, and everybody's pushing you left and right, and you can't see, and you're just like, "Yeah, that's cool. I don't know what's going on. Oh, give me a second." Like, because it's not like I'll put my guitar down. The second your guitar's there's a cue. You're like, oh, just give me a second.
I don't know if he is the same, but I think about those first 5 minutes after playing more than I do the lead up to playing and playing. But I saw like even afterwards, after I spoke to people, I'll sit down and gone, maybe I didn't treat them the best. Because I felt like that conversation was too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sat down. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing.
It's when you miss people as well. Like there's a fella called Alan who watches the podcast. And the first time I met him was I did a gig at Beyond for a single release I did. And he'd popped in to see the gig, and I was making my round around people to say hi, thanks for coming down. And he'd gone at that point, and I was like, oh, I'm a bit gutted because he was probably the only person there that I hadn't have known. Everyone else had just knew us. It was like good to see new people in. To be fair to him, he's been at every gig since, so I have had a chance to talk to him. But yeah, it's horrible when you're like, I remember again the Clooney gig because it was so rushed. Rich and Amy had gone. And I was like, I didn't get to say hi and thanks for coming kind of thing. And I don't want to be that guy who's like, I've done my gig, you've turned up.
I think it was like that with the Bunker gig when he came down. I hate doing that,
I guess.
Because it's not. I was talking about me because I always get like quite panicky if I haven't
It's
like
a football game on at Stadium Light. I'm sorry to like distract this.
Oh, it's always doing shit like that.
A full-on light show kicking off outside.
It does it every now and then.
I thought it was lightning at first.
No.
Yeah.
Just it's great when you live right next to it and you see just like you go, oh, it's what Stadium Light's being bombed again.
Is that why it's to stay? You're like, just looking at you there, just hit his corner of the eyes. For those who don't know this, obviously the Ship Isis where we're recording, the Stadium Light is right there, and it's just in the dark because the nights are getting dark. And you see the lights booming.
So after James' story, I didn't think you were going to say the Ship Isis. I thought you were going to go through those. I don't know James lives along this street.
Sorry. Anyway, your bunker gig.
Well, I've just in general because you see people go and then that's all you because everyone else wants to talk to you as well.
Yeah.
And then you end up missing them, and then it's only like an hour after you think, oh shit. Because I've always got this thing where I'm like a people pleaser. So if I feel that like someone's left and they've said, well, they didn't even say hello to me, that's what's in my mind. And I get worried. I'm like, shit, they hate me now.
No, I get it.
It's like
I'm doing a Head of Steam in November, and my plan is I've only got one support slot on, so that I'm not rushing people out. And it'll be like instead of the gig finishing at 11, the gig will finish about 10. So there's an hour space. Then I'm just gonna go sit at the merch stand straight after the gig, and if people want to talk to us, they can come and talk to me. And that way, I'm not bouncing around like a pinball machine. You're just like, oh.
I always say. I mean, I say this till my flipping dying day. It's like make finishing gigs earlier normalise, especially for people who take public transport. When it's like say when a gig finishes at 11, like the last Metro into Sunderland's 11:15. So the gig finishes, I've got to be like, I've got to see yous all. I'm gonna run out. I like to kind of like have nice quiet, like a quiet wind down with a few pints after like a loud gig.
Yeah.
So yeah, finish your gigs at 10, half 10.
I remember like when I first started, maybe it was like a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. I used to get to Newcastle. Every open mic would finish about midnight, something like that. So I couldn't get the Metro, and I'd have to get the 56 bus, and I wouldn't get home till about 2-3 in the morning.
Oh, because it's like,
So
it's all the whiny bits in it as well.
So
Like,
it'd be like an hour's journey. It stops every hour, and I have to get that, and I wouldn't get in until 2 or 3 in the morning. And like one of the bleakest nights, I remember getting in and just sort of gone, oh, I'll have a little bit of food, and I got out like a pot noodle from the cupboard, and it was like, you know, one of the doner kebab flavoured pot noodles.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, like, having that, because you can flavour it anything, it's artificial. You could flavour it lobster if you want to, but it's as if like me prospects were that bleak. Nice. Even me flavour of pot noodle was just like kebab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like sat there in an armchair at 3 in the morning, just like, fucking hell.
It's a thing. Like
Everyone likes the green one, don't they?
Oh, that's the standard. It's just like the thing about pot noodle. What I've figured out why it's so good. It's the same with McDonald's. It's consistently okay food.
Yeah.
You just know what you're gonna get. It's a pot noodle. You're gonna eat it.
I mean, you say that I had the worst McDonald's I've ever had last night.
Oh, nice.
Finished Filthies.
It wasn't a fillet or fish because I've never had a fillet or fish.
No, it was Big Mac, but it was
Big
just
Mac.
like, you know, when you get a McDonald's after a gig, because
Yeah.
as musicians it's the only thing that's open at night time,
Oh, right.
and it's like 2:30 in the morning, so the staff really don't give a shit. I had the most rubber fries you've ever had in your life. The burger was a bit mashed and like there's too much mustard on it to.
I just go simple. Like I go like just a mayo chicken. You cannot get a mayo chicken sandwich wrong. Like
I bet they could.
they could try.
When we finish our gig on Friday, we'll go to McDonald's and we'll see how much wrong they get that.
Yeah.
Because chips shouldn't be bad.
You got in Newcastle though, it's open, like, do you know Greg's?
Yeah.
That's open till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
But open till 4 or 5, then they shut for an hour and open back up again.
Do you know what annoys me? And I've had this issue, I keep ranting to James about, occasionally what we do on a Friday is we gig 9 till 11, then we gig from 12 onwards, so we've got an hour gap.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go for food at the German doner kebab, just at the top of the big market. All the kebab shops are open till about 4 in the morning. This one shuts at 1 for some reason.
No, it's not even one. Sometimes last time
Kick out, we're getting there
like
11:30 we get there, and they're like, oh no, we're closing.
it's like you're a kebab shop.
Open up, you're a kebab shop on the top of the big market in Newcastle.
Yeah.
That is the gold mine you're missing
Yeah.
out on. So if you're watching this German doner kebab, open your times a bit later, just in Newcastle, and you'll make an absolute killing.
Because I love
And if
German.
you are watching it, we'd do with sponsorship deals. Big fans.
Yeah. I love German doner kebab. Like the first time I had a German doner kebab was in Germany, and it was in the afternoon. And it was my friend Danny. He's like, "Oh, you've got to try like doner kebabs." Like, what? I'm sober. It's like 2 in the afternoon. Why would I want to do? No, you've got to try it. And I was like, blown. It was like it's like, you know, you just think my life is never going to be the same
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
It was like one of them moments. I was like. And I'm still chasing that high. I haven't hit that high yet.
Ashley won't let me let her experience that. She's like, it's just daytime, you can't have a kebab for lunch. I went, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you definitely
You can
definitely
have a kebab for lunch.
In Germany, you
Was
can
it
do
like
it definitely.
Was it a German doner kebab in Germany, or was it like because you're in Germany, every kebab's a German doner kebab? Was it GDK, but in
No,
Germany?
it wasn't GDK. It was just a random vendor. Like it was a German, like a German
like
doner
a-
kebab. It wasn't
It
the
wasn't a
brand.
German doner
It wasn't the
It's a German
It
doner
wasn't the company German doner kebab. It was a doner kebab from Germany.
Yeah.
But the OG doner kebabs were made in Berlin.
Oh,
And that's where they came from. It's like their like tikka masala kind of thing. It was like Turkish immigrants came over, made this like wonderful thing from the gods, and just kind of like now we have it with like
that was like their entire purpose in the street.
Yeah.
Get us that and gone.
Yeah, it's good crack.
I went to like Magaluf years ago. It was like one of the only times I went abroad anyway. It was like 16. So I mean, when you're 16, you just, of course you did.
Yeah.
But I had a kebab over there, and even then, like, just I think Peter said the same thing. Anytime you've gone abroad, the kebab's always better than in
Yes,
England.
I went to Portugal for a stag do, and it was probably the best kebab I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
And it was just kebab chips and garlic sauce,
Oh.
and it was so good. I was like, it was one of them. We're not quite done with the night out, but I was like, I'm gonna have kebab anyway. Had the kebab, went back out, finished a few more Jaeger bombs.
Oh.
It's not good morning the next day, you know. But yeah, abroad kebabs. Oh, I want to be for in a week. I'm going kebab straight away. Oh, it's the first time
I
I
really want a kebab now. I haven't had any tea, so
take away next door, James.
I know. You know what? I'm tempted. I'm just gonna walk up in the practice room, just like, all right, lads,
And ladies.
yeah, garlic sauce running down me.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Obviously, the song we recorded for you earlier today.
Oh yeah.
What's it called?
The Ever After I Dream Of.
Yeah, I could have guessed that.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's just it's a cheesy title, like.
Yeah, but still. Is there any motivation behind that specific song, or is it just like go out chase your goals kind of thing?
Not really. No, I wouldn't say. It's just sort of. I was spending like loads of time on the internet at the time. I can't remember if it was just I was spending loads of time on that. I think maybe there was loads of stuff in the headlines about it. Couldn't have been a short while after COVID, and then all the stuff with like Ukraine and Russia and that shit. It was just sort of like just something you do in a night.
Yeah.
Just sort of just sat there in about an hour and a half, and just went, oh well, I've got it, because I had like a similar chord progression for a while, and then I originally just wanted to do it like as if I was gonna write a poem and have like a spoken word over the top.
Yeah.
And then I was speaking to another guitarist I knew. It was he owns a practice room in Newcastle, a lad called Patrick. Can't remember the name of the practice room. But I wanted to learn how to like finger pick, and he went, oh well, what you do is you just get chords and you just like you pick the melodies out of the chords. And I was gonna speak like spoken word out the top of it, and I started doing a melody out the top of it, and then went, oh well, I'll change the chords a little bit so that melody flows a little bit better, and then it just sort of went like that. And then after that, I think maybe I was just reading so much or just doing so much that I was just like it's like when you do any lyrics or like when you do anything, it's as if like you have to consume so much until you regurgitate something.
Yeah.
So I think at that point I'd just sort of been sat reading, sat watching things, and just went, oh well, I've got loads of stuff I can just spew really.
Yeah.
So I mean really, because of the amount I was doing, it could be practically nonsensical.
Yeah.
Like the words in it. But it seemed alright. I remember like it was the first one I played at an open mic and stuff, and I played at a few different ones, and people liked it. Despite us not really being a vocalist or anything like that, they still liked it.
It's got a good style. I think you got a good style about you, to be honest. You kind of, I mean, was that like a deliberate choice to do just like the way that you kind of sing it and perform it, or was it just?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 'cause I'm not really. I'm not a good actor, in all honesty. So I'm like, there's always that thing where, because if I perform, people will come over and go, I like how you sing in your accent, and I think that's sort of the debate of authenticity in music.
Yeah, definitely.
So when that happens, it's sort of, personally I don't believe in it, when people say authenticity in music, because you kind of, by doing that, you'd write off David Bowie, you'd write off Bob Dylan, you'd write off everyone like that by saying authenticity is valuable. Which, I mean, if you think authenticity is valuable, then there's no way you'd listen to Ziggy Stardust. And like, if you see interviews and all of him, he's pretending to be an alien and stuff.
I mean, James did Busker Nights with a Jamaican accent to do Bob Marley.
No,
so, that counts.
but even then, it's not so much authenticity as it is how convincing you are at it.
Yeah,
so, like if you were to go to a random place and not only singing that Jamaican accent but speaking it afterwards, who's going to question you on that?
A lot of people.
But when
really challenging.
Yeah.
Well, so what part of Jamaica?
Have you seen, it's completely off topic. Have you seen the white guy who's was born and grew up in China?
I've seen that, yeah.
And it's like
everyone thinks he's putting on an accent.
Yeah, and it's like he's just like he's singing, but he just sounds so like racist.
Yeah.
But it's but it's his accent. It's like look at that.
But it's like 'cause I mean, we were saying earlier you like Dylan, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So have you ever watched many interviews of him outside of his music?
Yeah, well, he considers himself like a fraud. People thought he was like a voice of a generation, and that's what people call him. It's like I just write songs, like that's all he wanted to be known as.
Yeah.
And he was like, I never wanted to be like. But he says that quite consistently. To be fair, Even when he was like in his height, he goes like, yeah, I'm just a bit of a song and dance man. That's what he calls himself.
But even then, it's sort of like the more you watch that, you have to question that, because you kind of if you listen to his first album, near enough every song's plagiarised.
Well, it was this first album.
Oh, sorry, not the first one, the second one.
The second one.
Freewheeling, yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, I mean, he's a folk singer. He doesn't hide it. Like, so there's a song with God on Our Side.
Yes.
And basically, the melody's just the Patriot game.
Yeah.
But he says it live. He goes, "Oh, I was he when it was like Tommy Clancy. I was Tommy Clancy, and he was playing the song called the Patriot Game. So I wrote this one as well, because that's what folk music is. Like, he was considered a folk singer. So folk songs has always been you take the melody and then you put your own poetic. Because if you ask his influences, it'd be Woody Guthrie, Pete Seeger, obviously all the Irish stuff, but it'll be the poets.
Yeah.
Dylan Thomas, where he got his name from. Allen Ginsberg was another one. So he considered himself more like, when he's writing a song, he's more focused on what the song says rather than what the song sounds like, which is a different way to what a lot of people are doing. If they usually look at the melody and stuff, he was just looking at the words, which I did a full dissertation on him, honestly. I can go for
if you sort of, because obviously you're going through phases.
Yeah.
And if you look at them all, I mean, like in modern day, you could say Alex Turner. So you look at Bob Dylan, Alex Turner, David Bowie. Dylan and Alex Turner kind of similar in the sense that if you look at interviews, the accent changes and everything, the mannerisms and everything. It's like it's an act on the stage as well as any time they do interviews, any time there's a camera on them. It's like, you can Google, it's only about 1,000 views, something like that. But if you Google Bob Dylan 1969 interview, he's got a southern accent. Whereas he's from Minnesota.
He's from the Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, he's from Minnesota.
He was, born in Duluth, 1944, May 25th. And he grew up in Hibbing. Yeah, I think it might have been the other way around. I know too much about Dylan,
but have you seen Fargo?
Yeah.
That's the Minnesota accent.
I thought that was in Dakota.
No, that's Minnesota. So it's like, I can't remember if the Swedish settled there or the Dutch, but if you've seen Fargo, that's what their accent should sound like. Yeah.
I mean, I know, he's constantly reinvented himself, but that's part of the game, that though. It's part of the music business. You need to have an image, and if you can change your image, and then suddenly you're now this person. I mean, say Bowie was like a genius at doing that. But he was always playing. He knew he was always going to be. It was the sort of like glam rock. He was always playing. He was like an artist, so he was playing someone. He was never David Bowie. He was always Ziggy Stardust or something like that.
Yeah, it's the same for every artist.
Yeah.
Anyone that are famous, a lot of them are playing a part. It's kind of like, I mean, even if you took Tom Waits and you kind of went, if he's meant to be this working class drunk in a time without the internet, how does he play piano like that? There's no way that's self-taught. Like,
well, I mean, Bruce Springsteen would just be the working man who never worked a day in his life.
Oh, exactly. Loads of songs like driving. He can't drive.
Yeah, it's just like, but it's this. I don't know, but I think that's what's good about musicians though, and artists. They create a story that you can follow, and you can follow their path, and it's like if they're telling a story, they're perceiving themselves as a particular thing. I don't think there's anything really like wrong with that, but it does go that it's the authenticity thing. It does make.
There's definitely nothing wrong with it, but it's very strange how anything that comes from your head can only be a work of fiction. Yeah, do you know what I mean? If it's a song, it can only be a work of fiction. Your performance is only a work of fiction. Yet it seems like a lot of the time you could be valued based on how authentic you seem doing it. So I mean, if I could sing in an American accent and I could like play characters and I was a good enough actor to do it, I probably would. Yeah. If I could if I was good enough to do that, but I'm not.
I'd definitely put an Irish twang on horse outside.
Yeah. I used to sound like really kind of like. Well, I used to just like sound like fucking Bob Dylan, to be honest. I've developed my voice a little bit now, but.
Just on the song that we're about to play in about a couple of minutes, is that available now to stream, or is that something that
I'm pretty pitiful when it comes to social media and marketing and things like that. I mean, a lot of the time I'd look for open mics to play gigs and that I play with, like, 'cause it's not really like a money thing, I suppose, or like a streaming thing or anything like that. Just kind of wherever I can get to.
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm really bothered about.
That's cool.
There is just to do a plug as well while I'm at the end. It's got nothing to do with me, but there's a place in Jesmond at the minute where there's a bloke called Richie Hetherington setting that up, and he's doing a gigs at a place called, it's either pronounced Hus or Horse. I've only seen it written down, and the lettering is either HOS or HUS. And it's got a couple dots above the O or the U.
Okay.
So I have no clue how to pronounce it. I've only seen it written down.
Who's it's got to be like house, but like some weird European. I'd like to say Dutch or German, but I don't know. I don't speak either.
He's doing something at the moment called like Behind the Curtain, and I think he maybe used to put on. Have you been to Saturday Party People down 2x2 Brewery?
No.
By the Grove. So they used to do gigs every Saturday. And that was a good time. It was a brewery inside with a bar and that, and you used to just set up the bands in the corner. It was a lovely day out. It was sort of like being at like the time I went down, it was almost if you were at a family fair. It was a really nice day out in the summer and that. But he's doing gigs in Jesmond now, so I suppose anyone that fancies playing that or attending that, just recommend going down.
Yeah, that's cool.
What days are that again? Like,
so I think the next gig is October 10th, and I think someone called Jenny Max playing.
oh,
We've
it's
maybe
okay.
been on the same bill for something like a charity gig, but we're on separate floors, so we never met each other. After that, I don't know if it's going to be a monthly thing, every few weeks, something like that. But he's booked up for this year, but maybe if people keep going down and, you know, like
make more frequent.
apply for gigs next year, it'll somehow continue.
Sounds good.
Just another place to promote, really.
And just on the terms of promoting, if people were to drop you a follow on socials, what's your social tags?
So Instagram's Bum with a Guitar, and then the Facebook is either George Jones or the Macklem George Jones, because a lot of the time if I play country places with elder people, they tell us George Jones is already a person, which it's really weird, because people will turn around and go, do you know what, you should use a pseudonym. And like that, I
hate doing that. I tried it, and I just like, I was like, that's where I started like Torn Apart by Lisa. It was supposed to be a pseudonym, but every time I used to play, I used to feel so uncomfortable calling myself something that I wasn't me. Like, so I was like, so I'm Torn Apart by Lisa, but I'm not really. I'm actually James. Like, that's and I would just call myself James, to be honest. But there's already a really famous band called James, but apparently there's loads of other people called James Berry who does music. So I've just put James Berry alt folk. So you type that in Google and I come up. So it's all right.
You've got your name in the end.
Yeah, I've got it there. I've settled for like at least a month until I change my mind again.
Yeah.
But
James Berry 2025.
Change the name, but I remember watching these when you used to talk about your band, and it used to be James Berry and the best ever folk rock band out of Fulwell.
Yeah, and that was
And then he bought all the merch and then changed it the day after.
Yeah. Well, because the sound evolved and it was no longer folk rock. So I was like, shit. I didn't really think about this, did I?
But that's cool. But Bum with the Guitar.
Yeah,
Macklem George Jones.
The George Jones thing is like if I go on places and I play places, there'll be older people who'll turn around and go, oh, do you know, George Jones was a country singer from this decade. Some people might get confused, and I'm just like, well, he's American, he's fucking dead. How confused can you be?
Yeah, there's two differences. Mint, well, if you haven't yet, drop us a follow. We are at Off the Stage UK. Follow us. We can ask your questions to the next guest. I was gonna say we've got Juliet's Not Dead next, but I'm assuming we will have recorded that by the time this episode's out.
Yes.
Anyway, there's next week's episode. Yeah, thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you for the harmonica as well.
No worries. You guys will see what we mean in 30 seconds. Yeah. Would you like to introduce your song?
Oh yeah, it's The Ever After I Dream Of, and currently you can stream it absolutely anywhere, so you probably have to go to an open mic.
You heard it here first.
And last. See you then. Cool. There you go, mate.
So is it soon to say it's due? Is it fun to call it done? Is it the liar says we can't put out the fire? And who'd cry for the lonesome eye when he's gored by minotaurs, he don't dare to run away with his weakness. So give and take for your sake. The freaks were fake, were made mistakes. Now slam the brakes, because your steps there start earthquakes. And I'm scorched beneath the sun, hard up, well done. But it's just the ever after I dream of. So when they beat the drums and the snakes that squeeze the slums bite down and cause you to kick and call out, sign air by day, parachute packed, then turn to lax and see you'd fight to finish all of the fighting. It won't help to be afraid, nor there's a debt has to be paid, but then it's just the ever after I dream of. And gunned down in a hometown by a clown dressed in a crown, who'll bend down and thank you for all your service. Sail seas, they take it fees, your love's free to hug our knees, but then it's just the ever after I dream of. Cheers, man. You alright?
Yeah. Cool.